What if you could see your renovation finished before construction even starts? In this workflow, we will take an existing room, clear it, redesign it with a new style, and visualize the final result before making any real-world changes and while preserving the original architecture. This workflow makes it easy to test renovation ideas, align on design decisions, and avoid costly surprises before construction even begins. So let's get started. The first thing you have to do is upload a few images of a space from different angles. I can show you the ones that I uploaded here as an example. So it's the same space, but just from different angles. And first, we're going to need to remove all the furniture, decor, and objects from this room. We need to keep all the walls, the floor, the ceiling, the windows, doors, beams, columns, and all architectural elements exactly the same. We have to preserve accurate proportions and geometry and show a clean, empty room. So the goal of this first step is to have a clean, empty room, which we can redesign later on. And the first results that I got from the chat were not completely accurate because the space was not fully cleared. So one by one, I added each image to the prompt and I wrote again the same text about removing the furniture and showing a clean, empty room. I chose the image model Nano Banana Pro, the format 16:9, and this is the result that I got. So this is from the first image, this one. And then for the second image, I did the same. I uploaded the image here. I wrote the same prompt about removing all the furniture and showing a clean, empty room. I chose again the model Nano Banana Pro, the format 16:9, and this is the result that I got. A completely empty space while keeping all the proportions. And for the third image, again, I uploaded it to the prompt. I wrote the same text. I chose the same image model, Nano Banana Pro, and the same format, 16:9, and this is the result that I got. So from these three images full of furniture, here you can see the completely empty space while keeping the whole architecture of the space completely accurate. So this was the first step. Then the next step was redesigning the space. So taking one of the empty images, we're going to redesign them one by one. So first we take one of them and we upload a couple of reference images that match the style that we would like to test in this space. And we write the prompt to redesign this empty room using the style from the reference images. We have to use image 1 as a base. And this space is a studio. And inside it there should be a bed, a living room area, a kitchen, and a table for eating. We have to add furniture, materials, and decor that match the reference aesthetic. We have to keep all walls, floor, ceiling, windows, doors, beams, columns, and architectural proportions exactly the same like in this image 1, the empty space. And yeah, only apply the style from these images. And I can show you some of the results that I got. So the first one was not very accurate because in the original space, the kitchen is actually on the left. So this image was not going to be useful. This is more like it, but something felt off about this space, like this lamp and the couch were placed too randomly in the middle of the space. And this was already much better. The kitchen is in its right position. The bed also stayed in its right position. Also the couch area, like the living room and dining area, looks more realistic in this image as well. But here the proportions are not fully accurate. The space looks a lot bigger than it actually is. And this image is the best in my opinion because it keeps all the architectural proportions of the space completely accurate. Also, the kitchen is in its right position, the bed as well, and the living and dining room area also feel very harmonious and balanced. Then we take the second image of the empty space, so this image here, and again we add two reference images and we write again the same prompt to redesign this empty room using the style from the reference images. And again we have to use image 1 as a base, and this is still a studio and there should still be a bed, a living room area, and a kitchen and a table, so dining room area. And again we have to add furniture, materials, and decor that match these references, and we have to keep all of the architectural proportions exactly the same. Also, the camera should be facing toward the kitchen area. So as a reference image, I added also this previously generated one for the living room, where the whole space is visible, in order to show that same space from a different angle. And here is the result. It's completely accurate, facing towards the kitchen. Then we have to do the same step also with the last image of the empty space. We have to use image 1 with the empty space as a base. We have to keep all walls, floors, ceiling, windows, etc. and architectural proportions exactly the same from image 1, and redesign this empty room with the style from the references. And I added one reference of how approximately I would like the bed to look like, and the 2 previously generated images. So this one from the whole space and this one facing towards the kitchen. I added those 2 also to the prompt, and I wrote that the camera is facing frontally towards the sleeping area. I chose the image model Nano Banana Pro, and here are some of the results. The first one was not very accurate because the living room area with the couch and the table is missing. Also, the wall behind the bed was not exactly accurate like in the other 2 images. So I did a couple of tries. This is more like it. This is also not very accurate because this dining table was actually in front of the couch and not here on the right, so it's not correct, but this angle is correct. Also, all the furniture placement is accurate based on the rest of the images of the redesigned space. As a next step, I noticed that these 2 lamps are not placed correctly based on the other 2 previous generations of the space from the different angles. So I used this tool to select an area, and I selected the 2 lamps and wrote in the comment to both of them, delete this lamp. And here is the result that I got. So as you can see, the lamp is removed. Also, the format changed a bit because I set it to 16:9. And I did 2 different tries to remove this lamp. Both of them are very accurate and keep everything else in the space completely the same. Then I wanted to have a bit of a better quality of this image, so I clicked on this icon, which is Upscale, and yeah, the image was in a much better quality already after upscaling it. And then in the final step, I just cropped the image a bit, still keeping the same format, 16:9, but just showing the space from a bit closer. And in order to not get lost among all these generations and still mark my favorites somehow, I put a heart on these 3 images that were the best ones for each angle of the space. And yeah, those are the final results. So as you can see, starting from a furnished space, we were able to completely clear and empty the entire space and remove everything in order to have like a blank canvas. And we completely redesigned the space. This workflow lets you visualize a full interior renovation in advance, helping you align on layout, style, and functionality before any construction begins. And by redesigning the space digitally first, you can test ideas, refine details, and make more informed renovation decisions without costly trial and error. I hope you found this workflow useful, and thanks a lot for watching.